For the campaign, we displayed creative and informative posters in our local community to spread awareness amongst local people. We informed the teachers and students of our school about different types of human trafficking, their causes, their consequences, and their solutions. We were a bit surprised to see that even the younger kids of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th standard knew a lot about human trafficking. The seniors and the teachers were already well informed about trafficking in our society. Taking interviews was a tough task because we were doing it for the time, although we tried our level best to make it formal and as informative as we could. We tried gathering information from highly esteemed people of our society. We interviewed a high-ranking police officer, Honorable Headmaster of our school, Mr. Paul Page, respected Deputy Headmaster, Mr. Sujit Singh Rana. They helped us to realize more about trafficking in our society, the mindset of victims of trafficking.
As long as there are weak conditions in the ecosystem, human trafficking can occur any place. Although it varies from nation to nation, human trafficking typically takes advantage of weak circumstances. People who are in hazardous or vulnerable situations are searching for a way out, and in their desperation, they may become victims of human traffickers. The complicated phenomenon of human trafficking is frequently fueled or impacted by social, economic, cultural, and other factors. Thousands of men, women, and children fall victim to human traffickers each year, both domestically and overseas. Several of these elements are unique to each individual's trafficking pattern as well as the states in which it takes place. Today, many countries are collaborating together to reduce the causes of human trafficking. There are various types of trafficking. Trafficking for forced labor. The victims are forced to do mining, construction work, and other labor intensive jobs. Trafficking for criminal activities. Victims are forced to do illegal activities, and it does not include any risk for the traffickers. Sexual exploitation. People are provided with false job offers to an unknown country and then are forced into sexual exploitation. Organ trafficking. The organs of victims are removed from their body and are sold illegally. People smuggling. The victims are forced by the smugglers to work in inhuman conditions. These were the basic types of trafficking that could be seen and identified in our day-to-day lives. There are various ways we can help fight human trafficking. Learn the indicators of human trafficking. If you believe someone is a victim of trafficking, call National Human Trafficking Hotline. Volunteer and support anti-trafficking efforts in your community. Meet your officials to let them know that you care about human trafficking. Be well aware and informed. Host some awareness raising events to discuss about human trafficking. Try organizing fundraisers and donate the proceeds to anti-trafficking organizations. Encourage local schools to spread awareness. Use social media platforms to raise awareness about human trafficking. Think about whether your workplace is trauma-informed. Try becoming a mentor to a young person or someone in need. Learn how human traffickers often target and recruit youth. Host awareness events and community forums with anti-trafficking leaders. There are some solutions to this problem as well. Hold some fundraisers and donate money. Volunteering time and effort to anti-trafficking organizations. Be aware of the signs of human trafficking. Reach out to local, states, and federal representatives. Hold events to raise awareness. Boycott products and companies that permit human trafficking. Try your best to help survivors. Stay informed. Report suspicions. Help combat the demand. These were some solutions for human trafficking that can be applied everywhere. Governments all around the world are trying a lot to combat human trafficking.
1 in 10 children are involved in child labor all over the world. That's almost 152 million. This is a really serious crime. This affects their future. This is against their fundamental rights. This can make them mentally ill. According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, the most occurring cause for child labor in post-conflict situations is financial crisis, which can be further caused by poverty or loss of a job. Migrant and refugee children who are alone are at more significant risk than normal children who have parents. In girls, mostly it leads to sexual exploitation, and in boys, it can lead to terror armed forces.
The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. The trade of people for the purposes of forced labor, organ harvesting, commercial sex, exploitation, and economic exploitation is known as human trafficking. Known methods to convey this act are threats, coercion, kidnapping, fraud, deceit, etc. Person trafficking is a grave offense.
Human rights are the basic rights that are not established by any state or nation. We all inherit these rights regardless of our ethnicity, sex, or religion. Transporting individuals for labor or sexual exploitation is called human trafficking, often known as trade in persons. Everywhere on the globe, this exploitation is unlawful and intolerable. The world should launch efforts to stop this kind of criminal activity and raise public awareness. According to reports, 20% of all victims of human trafficking are children. The number of nations experiencing trafficking has climbed from 54 to 125, which is a significant and a twofold increase. As a goodwill ambassador to fight human trafficking, Miss Mariana Sorvino has been chosen. China, the Central African Republic, and Belarus are the three nations with the highest number of human trafficking cases. Political unrest, poverty, corruption, and unemployment are some of the factors that contribute to this problem. Most often involving females, 79% of all trafficking. Sexual exploitation is followed by labor exploitation, 18%, forced marriage, 1,355 cases in 66 countries, organ trafficking, which accounts for 10% of all cases. Local effects include social, economic, and health problems. Global effects include mental and physical trauma and other things. Specifically for the victims, there have been various case studies both in Russia and New Zealand due to the fact that the majority of trafficked men and women in Russia originate from North Korea. Some corrupt officials have been suspended and victims have also been rescued from Syria and Iraq. Only 2 incidences of labor exploitation were found in New Zealand in 2020, and there were only 8 traffickers in 2019. The majority of the people which were victims of immigration were from Philippines and India respectively. Among the things we can do to combat human trafficking are to be aware of the warning signs, volunteer for anti-trafficking efforts, assist survivor. Global remedies include raising money, educating the public about this illegal activity, and providing a self-defense instruction manual. We must acknowledge that human trafficking is one of the most illegal activities. Analysis of the local and global effects of mental instability and rejection is necessary. We deplore deeply that this issue poses a danger to world peace, security, and society as a whole. In conclusion, government should implement vacancy programs